I'm here to give you my review on Terminator Genisys. Not Genisys, Genisys. They say Genesis in the movie, but they don't say it by its real title, Genisys. Now, the people in this film is Emilia Clarke playing Sarah Connor. Emilia Clarke is in Game of Thrones. I don't watch that show, but you may know her. Jai Courtney plays Kyle Reese. He was in A Good Day to Die Hard, and that's about it. I know he plays somebody else in some other movies that I saw. I just can't remember. And then you got Arnold Schwarzenegger back for the Terminator, the T-800. We got J.K. Simmons playing somebody. I guess he's that. I don't know who he's playing, but we'll get to him in a bit. And let's get to it. What I would like to say first is that Jai Courtney, out of all the movies he's in, he's not a very good actor in my opinion. I mean, so yeah, his portrayal on Kyle Reese, did he do better than Michael Biehn? Hell no. Get the hell out of here. But I would say that he acted better than any other movies he did. Definitely A Good to Die Hard. A good Day to Die Hard, excuse me. Even though he was still pretty bad in this film, I thought he actually did better than all the other movies he was in. Emilia Clarke playing Sarah Connor. She's not that gentle in the stress from the. Excuse me, I'm trying to think. Yeah, she's not the Terminator 1 Sarah Connor, who was just a waitress, and she was not really smart. But in this film, she's already Terminator 2 Sarah Connor, all badass, got her guns in gear and everything. Yeah, she was just killing it. But I'm just have to say that she's no Linda Hamilton. She's not. Some people say that she looks like a young Emilia Clarke. I mean, Linda Hamilton. I don't see it. She looks nothing. Okay, maybe she does a little bit. I'll give you that. I'll give people that. But just, and then the what's the word I'm looking for? The connection between Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor. Like, it wasn't really as good as the Terminator 1. I mean, it had its moments in this movie. I mean, like, what got me is that in the middle of the film, or early in the film, they say, we can't be together. We can't be together because I'll give birth to a maniac who becomes a Terminator. That's one possible future, by the way, if you didn't know that, Sarah. But yeah, and then they end up kissing at the end of the film. Like, I guess they want to be together now, just because she lost her father figure Pops, and speaking of Pops, Arnold as the Terminator, just as good, man. He still got it as the Terminator. Like Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis in Halloween, as he said he wanted to play Sam Loomis until Halloween 22. Arnold's to play the Terminator until the Terminator 22. Like, Arnold is just so good, and Arnold is so good as the Terminator. I mean, yeah, he do other movies like The Last Stand, The triplets, I think that's what it's called. But his best, everybody knows him as the Terminator. And I would say the best T-800 of Arnold playing is still the first one, but this one it's up there. I will probably say, I'm not gonna lie, this was almost better than the T-850 Arnold from Terminator 3. Just what Arnold did in the middle of the film in Terminator 3, which I will do a review on, we'll get to why I think the T-850 is just a little better than the T-800 Terminator Genisys. The dynamic between the Terminator and Kyle, they were both button heads because they're supposed to protect Sarah, both of them. Kyle says, "This is a machine. It doesn't think. All it does is kill." Yet they kind of, come together at the end of the film. J.K. Simmons, he was good for his small time in this film. I mean, I wish we got more screen time of him instead of Kyle, Sarah, and the Terminator. But he was good. The T-1000, no point of him being in this movie, just to erase the Terminator 2, the Terminator 2 movie. Hell, this whole movie erases all the films, Terminator 1, 2, and 3. But Terminator Genisys takes place in an alternate world, and then it crosses over with, it's like The Flash or something. Like Terminator Genisys takes place on Earth 1, and then the Terminator 1 through 4 takes place on Earth 1, and then and then Earth 2, Terminator Genisys, when they go in time machine, they end up going to Earth 1 and then messing up the timeline, erase the timeline. Like, they go all over the place in this movie. 2029, and where the hell was John's wife, Catherine Kate Brewster? I mean, I guess she was not on Earth 2. I mean, and that's what got me thinking about any of these movies. I want to know about the original timeline, because there has to be, Kyle Reese was not always John's father. Like, it had to be Sarah Connor and this guy. It had to be that guy who was on the phone with Sarah in the first movie. They got together, made John. John met Kyle, and they, the Resistance. And then Kyle goes back in time, impregnates Sarah. And then that's when it starts rehappening again. That Kyle keeps going back and back. So there has to be original timeline. Another thing I didn't like about this movie is that the swap into scenes. Like, there was this part in the movie where they're about to leave the hospital, and then like the next shot they're in the car. Like, wait, what just happened? And they're like, the T-3000 John Connor, like he was getting pulled by something. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. He gets pulled by that electric thing, and then like next scene he's in the building. Like, the shots were not cut together right. What else? Oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that. Like, is this a sequel to Terminator Salvation? Or is this a reboot, just erasing all the movies, like I said? Because the last number in the Terminator series is Terminator 3. I mean, we know Salvation is the 4th movie. They should have called it Terminator 4 Salvation. I like when movies number their movies so we can know the order of the movies. But besides that, Yes, this is a sequel, but takes place on an alternate universe. Like you go back in early in the video and see what I said about that. Oh, is this like take place years after salvation? I don't get this. And then at the end of the movie, they set it up to be a Terminator Genisys 2. And I don't think I want that. I don't want a sequel to this movie. Just, how about you reboot it again? There's an Earth 3. And then Kyle Reese goes back in time and meets the Jai Courtney Kyle Reese. And then and very old Michael Biehn, if he's still alive, Kyle Reese. Like, man, I wish we just got the 2 sequels to Terminator Salvation and then ended the series. Like, you got the Terminator trilogy, and then you got the second Terminator trilogy. I would still have Arnold in some way, but he was doing the government stuff. Oh yeah, and it was all early in the film. It was Arnold versus Arnold. I like that scene, that fight scene. Very good. I wish we got more of that fight. I like to say the first 15 minutes I like, to be honest. The war stuff. Still, I wish I knew what Kate was, if she was even part of the Earth 2. And then yeah, the Chinese guy, the Chinese T1000. Oh, hold on, let me come back to that, if I want to. The T5000 is, I hear people calling it Matt somebody who plays Doctor Who, which I don't watch. He turned John Connor into a Terminator. But really, is he a Terminator? Because he says he's not a machine, not man. So what the hell are you? If you're not a machine or you're not man. And this is continuing to part 2. Okay.